Welcome to the Crystal Library, a pocket-sized portal into the magical, mysterious, and sometimes misunderstood world of crystals. I'm your host, Ashleigh, and each week I'll guide you as we explore one enchanting stone, its history, lore, healing properties, and one easy way to invite its magic into your everyday life. Whether you're crystal curious or deep in the woo, this is your space to learn, explore, and expand your connection to the mineral realm, one glittering gem at a time. So let's open the library and see which crystal wants to speak today. Hello, and welcome back to the Crystal Library. I am Ashleigh, and I am so happy that you are here with me today. But before we begin today's episode, I need to say this clearly and without really softening it. I am not okay with what I am witnessing in our country right now. I am not okay with violence, with state-sanctioned harm, with targeting and killing people, or with systems that continue to marginalize, silence, and endanger people while calling it order or safety. As someone with a platform, I refuse to pretend that this is normal or acceptable. It isn't. And if you are listening and actively supporting harm, dehumanization, or erosion of basic human rights, then this space is not for you. Witchcraft has always been political. To work with magic, with energy, with intention, while turning away from injustice is a contradiction. We are powerful beings, and power comes with responsibility. That responsibility doesn't look the same for everyone. For some, it's protest. For some, it's donation. For some, it's care work, education, mutual aid, or simply refusing to look away and just acknowledging what's going on. But for me, neutrality in the face of harm is not alignment. That would be avoidance. So I'll be sharing resources in the show notes for anyone who wants to learn more or take action. And I also want to say this: rest is still sacred. Tending your nervous system is part of staying in this work for the long haul. Today's crystal, blue sapphire, felt essential for this moment. A stone of truth, integrity, discipline, and calm. A stone that supports us in speaking when it matters and in staying rooted enough to keep showing up. Take a breath with me. Let's begin. When I was sitting with what crystal wanted to come forward right now, blue sapphire was immediate and non-negotiable. This isn't a soft, comforting stone. It's a stone of responsibility, of integrity, of truth spoken clearly and calmly, even when it's uncomfortable. So today, we're talking about why a blue sapphire is so revered, so rare, and so powerful, and how we can work with its energy even if we don't own one. Because personally, I do not own any blue sapphire. Maybe one day. So ancient cultures believed blue sapphire reflected divine law. It was worn by kings and queens, clergy and spiritual leaders, judges and advisors. In Persia, the sky was said to be blue because it rested on sapphire. In medieval Europe, it symbolized purity, loyalty, and moral authority. Blue sapphire has never been a casual crystal. Historically, it wasn't even worn to attract. It was worn to align, to remind the wearer that their actions mattered. That's what makes this stone so relevant in moments like this, when truth feels distorted and power is misused. So, what makes blue sapphire different from other sapphires? Because sapphire comes in different colors. So this is the contrast. So if you have a pink or peach sapphire, that's going to be all about emotional healing, love. Yellow sapphire we see used more with wisdom, abundance, confidence. Green sapphire is used a lot with balance, heart, mind integration. But blue sapphire is truth, discipline, and spiritual authority. Blue sapphire doesn't ask you what you want. It asks who you are when no one is watching. It has a Mohs hardness scale of 9, which means it's quite hard. That is the symbolism of endurance and long-term commitment and clarity. This is where I wanted to pull some notes from Judy Hall's book, The Crystal Bible, because her book is just such a great resource for your stones. If you don't own the Crystal Bible and you are very crystal curious, I would really recommend 2 books, The Crystal Bible by Judy Hall and Crystal Basics by Nicholas Pearson, both of which I'm going to reference now. So in the Crystal Bible, Judy Hall, she notes that blue sapphire is really this speaker of spiritual truth. It's traditionally associated with love and purity. It's often used in shamanic work to transmute negative energies. And it keeps one aligned on the spiritual path. It works deeply with our throat chakra, our thyroid, and authentic self-expression. This is a stone that doesn't let you bypass your truth. It helps you speak it. And so I was thinking about that as I was putting this episode together, because this is a time when we should all be kind of thinking about speaking our truths and speaking out about the things that we believe in and the things that we stand for in whatever way you feel comfortable. Some people don't feel comfortable getting on their social media and speaking their truth. Some people don't feel like they can go in front of a room of people and speak their truth. But if there's some way that you could express your truth, you should do it. Maybe that's writing a post. Maybe that's writing a blog. Maybe that's just donating, like I suggested earlier. Maybe that's speaking your truth by calling government officials. There's so many different methods that we can speak our truth and that we can stand up for things. It doesn't look the same for everyone. In the book Crystal Basics by Nicholas Pearson, he talks about blue sapphire being very supportive of the nervous system and mental body, which I think is very important, because if you are speaking your truth, if you are sharing things that are deeply personal or emotional, you also need to have that nervous system regulation, because it can be very hard to speak about these things sometimes. This stone can be very nourishing for our mind. It helps improve clarity, focus, and discipline. It helps with overwhelm, headaches, cognitive fatigue, which many of us are probably experiencing right now. It supports communication with higher realms without that sense of disassociation. That combination, mental clarity plus nervous system support, is everything right now. Blue sapphire doesn't inflame reaction, it steadies response. So in times like this, we need stones and practices that support both action and rest. Blue sapphire helps us use our voices clearly, without panic, and rest deeply enough to keep going. So this can help when we are speaking out, when we are setting boundaries, when we are refusing to be silent, or when we're choosing clarity over chaos. This stone reminds us that rest is not disengagement. Calm is not complacency. Clarity is power. So if you don't own any blue sapphire, which is entirely possible since it can be quite expensive, and you want to work with it, I suggest maybe just consider some of these journal prompts. Where am I being asked to speak, privately or publicly? publicly, even if my voice shakes? Do you feel like you need to speak up more at work? Do you need to be more of a voice among your friends and peers? Do you want to speak out politically and be doing activist work? Maybe it's just speaking up more in your home with your family and your kids and your husband or wife or whatever you have going on at your house. Maybe that's hard for you. What truth feels non-negotiable for me right now? Maybe you need to be, maybe instead of throwing yourself into the thick of what's going on, maybe that actually doesn't work that well for you. Maybe it's just too much for you. Maybe you get extremely overwhelmed by everything that's going on and it sends you into a tailspin and it creates major depression and anxiety for you. And so that's not really great either. So maybe it's a time where you set up boundaries and protect yourself. Or maybe you are feeling called to do something more. So you have to do what feels like the right choice for you. And how can I express this truth without abandoning myself? Because we always want to stay true to who we are. I've been having some really interesting conversations with some friends, even just today, about everything that we're seeing going on, right? Like everything that we're seeing going on in the news and in social media. And it can be extremely polarizing. And sometimes we don't know what to believe. And you click on one thing and then the algorithm just starts pushing all this stuff to you. And then it's just like, you just get so overwhelmed by all of it. Then maybe you just need to turn it off, right? It's not about being uninformed. It's about not letting so much in that it's just becoming more than you can handle. Blue Sapphire is there for all of it. And I want to give you a small meditation called Sapphire at the Throat for our throat chakra. You'll want to visualize a deep blue light at your throat. And you'll just want to breathe slowly and ask, what is the most truthful next step for me? And whatever comes into your mind, that's what the next most truthful step is for you. It may have nothing to do at all with what we're talking about today or in this episode. Maybe the next most truthful step for you is that you need to go outside and take a walk. Or maybe your next most truthful step is that you haven't been eating that healthy lately and you need to go to the store and buy some vegetables. I don't know. Whatever is most truthful for you. But just meditate on that for a moment. You can even just do a simple ritual where you have a blue or white candle and you either write on a piece of paper or you carve into the candle if you like, one commitment to integrity. And you read it aloud once and you close with, may my voice be clear, may my actions be aligned. Blue Sapphire teaches us that power doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it looks like clarity, like boundaries, like saying no, like speaking anyway. Whether or not you ever hold the stone in your hand, you can embody its energy by living with integrity, using your voice, and refusing to look away. Thank you for being here. Take care of yourself and keep going. Bye. Thank you for visiting the Crystal Library. I hope today's stone offered just the magic you needed. If you loved this episode, share it with your favorite mystic and tag me on Instagram at mystical.mama.ash or at Bid Crystal Energy Podcast. And if you're feeling generous, leave a 5-star rating and review. It helps this magic reach more curious souls. Until next time, keep your crystals close and your intuition closer.